when you say it's the greatest championship ever and people want to be like, but it's like, well, I'm waiting on your response to one that is better. Right. And so that's the thing that
another one, but there is factually and statistically not a greater championship.
Welcome into this edition of Road Trippin with RJ and Channing, presented by Blue Wire. I'm your host, Allie Clifton, alongside Richard Jefferson, Channing Frye. Let's start there. How are we feeling, guys? On a scale of 1 to 10.
Richard, why are your eyes so wet?
Doing?
What?
Why do your eyes look so wet?
His eyes are wet?
Yeah, you look very sweaty. Did you get done working out?
No.
Oh.
Okay, so 1 to 10. How are we feeling? I'm about a 2.
Are you wet?
I'll be honest. I'll throw it out there.
Why are you
I'm about a 2.
You're about
There's a lot
two,
going on today.
Like Channing's internet.
My internet? You're the foggy one.
No, you're the foggy
I'm about
one.
a 2. I was on my way into the studio to get ready for this. We also have a game tonight. In case you didn't know, I cover the Lakers.
Too.
And so I was on my way in here and a motorcycle decided to pass me on my right. And I don't think you're allowed to do that. I don't think that's legal. But then I got in trouble for it. He proceeded to stop right in front of me, ream me for not seeing him as I was turning into the studios, and then proceeded to follow me into the studios and ream me again at my car. Here we are.
Kicked him in his ding.
So how are you guys feeling?
Hit his ass.
Fuck that dude.
Look,
Yeah, it's got me a bit rattled.
Yeah. Okay, first of all, I 100% everyone, like pedestrians, motorcyclists, bicyclists, everyone has their right to the road. I get it. But let's talk about who are the biggest assholes on the road. And we're going to talk about motorcyclists like they just want to rev their engine to the highest fucking decibel and have car alarms go off. They want to ride through the middle of traffic. They want to cut and do all this stuff off. And then they act crazy like, I can't believe people hit me, or I can't believe this. Now, that's not everyone, but there are some real assholes riding these things.
I didn't mean to do it, sir. I'm sorry.
It's
that was
okay.
my
Did you
response.
die? Did you die? That's what I would have said. Did you die?
Well, that was his thing that he almost
Richard.
did twice already this morning because of people not paying attention.
Well, then get off the damn motorcycle,
I digress.
stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I know. I digress.
Yeah.
I just had a moment. Okay. We have a full slew of topics today.
Let's go.
Okay. Some NBA, some not. We obviously are going to try to hit them as quickly as possible. So we're also going to incorporate a shot clock on some of them to see how good you guys are with your knowledge on different topics. It'll be just like the NBA. If you guys don't watch the NBA, it's 24 seconds. And then we also are going to take some mailbag because we're opening up our Road Trippin line again to our fans to send us questions, comments, concerns, all the things. 657-5-CALL-RT. We'll hit that later. But we're going to begin on a shot clock question because today is 3-1. 3-1, and I feel like it's only applicable to this podcast.
It is.
For those of you who may not know, the Cavs in 2016 were the only team as of now to come back from being down 3-1 in the history of the NBA Finals. So, Channing, you have 24 seconds. When 3-1 day comes around, the first thing that comes to your mind is
Shump's outfit, because it was Father's Day. And his wife gave him a full-on dad outfit because he just was going to have his first kid. And so he was wearing like socks with some crusty sandals with like a fanny pack. He had a flip phone.
Some Tevas.
Yeah, Tevas, definitely. And then just a whole outfit. I forgot where that video is, but it was just like, it's game 7 and he's wearing this
seconds.
and you're just laughing your ass off. It like helped the nervousness. So big.
That's actually really
doggy.
good because I don't think we've ever talked about that. I don't think that's ever come out.
No,
and the fact that that's where your mind goes.
Well, I mean, I didn't play in the games. I was like, whatever.
That looks like Shump's hair during Game 7.
My guy Topher.
Please, Jeremiah, keep
like
all of this in.
All right, let's
keep
go.
all of this in. All right, you're on the clock now, Richard. With 24 seconds, first thing that comes to your mind when you think of 3-1.
First thing that comes to my mind when I think of 3-1. One, that the Warriors have 3 championships to 1. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah. Well, like Channing, we're 1-1 versus them, so we got a 50% success rate versus the Warriors. We can't help that. Yeah, they could have. They should have kept us around for that
There's
final
24
year.
seconds.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I think about.
That's what you think of?
Right? No, I still think that like it's. When you say it's the greatest championship ever and people want to be like, but it's like, well, I'm waiting on your response to one that is better. Right. And so I think that's the thing
like
that
another one, but there is factually and statistically not a greater championship.
Yeah. You know what I will say? The only one like that I can think of off the top of my head that it reminds me similarly of is the Super Bowl where the Giants came back and they beat the Patriots in that undefeated season. Like, because it was like you were going for a historic thing. Tom Brady, just the whole thing. That I think that Super Bowl was pretty crazy. But again, that's a 1-game situation. So it's like that happens for us. We had to live in hell for like 10 days.
Oh,
I mean, at the end of the day, in the grand scheme of the world, there's only a small group of people that appreciate 3-1.
Yeah. And we are. Yeah. Everyone in Ohio.
Very true. And around the world.
Which is a lot of people. God, Ohio people are everywhere.
Yeah. Stand up. Okay.
God. You're from
let's
Indiana.
dive into... I'm not. I'm 20 minutes from there, however. Let's dive into the NBA. Is there this is my question, new beast in the East? Like where I went with that?
Ooh.
Do we know where I'm going with that?
Are you going to talk about Philly?
No, you're talking about Boston. Boston's the best team in the East right now.
Is it though? Are they though?
Boston has been good, not just 1 month, not 2 months. Well, actually, it's March 1st. So yes,
2 months.
2 straight months. I was doing I got math. Don't make fun of my math skills. Again, it's an epidemic in America, math disability. Dude, the Boston Celtics are the hottest team in the NBA right now.
See, there's a difference between the best team and the hottest team. Like right now, they are the hottest team. They are the hottest team without a doubt, but are they the best team? Because they're still to me ranked like.
No, the best team is Milwaukee by far. The best team in the NBA is Milwaukee, and I think somebody goes. I was like, reading, and I'm getting old. I listen to talk radio, and they started to name their. I know. Just
you've been spending too much time in fucking Portland, bro. Like.
Dog, I only listen to a certain amount of music. I want to see what the world is talking about. Don't try to stay up on game. But they ran off Philly's bench. And I'm like, you asking a lot out of that bench. Them starters going to be gassed. Right? It's like you have Georgie Niang, like taking Maxey out the second unit. Like there's no real length in the second unit. Drummond, no Seth Curry, no nothing. It's like, you have Korkmaz, Niang, Paul Millsap, and maybe one other person. It's like,
yes, agreed. And the one thing that I'll add to Philly is that right now, without the depth, I don't know how Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid and James Harden, all of these guys, as great as they are, they still have playoff stuff to prove. In my opinion, they still got playoff stuff to prove. So that just to me means that I'm still rolling with Milwaukee also.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still Milwaukee for you.
Yeah. I mean, the thing.
What about Miami?
They're just not tall. They don't have a lot of length.
The defending champions. Do not disrespect the defending. And I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying people. They are the champions until someone beat them. And this is the other thing about Milwaukee. They had the best record 2 out of 3 years. They had the MVP, and then in the following year they were the 3 seed or the 2 seed. Were they the 2 seed and Brooklyn was the 3? No. They were the 3 because Brooklyn had game 7 at home. So they were the 3 seed. So they've been 1 seed, 3 seed. This year, they're about to be 3 seed. They have been the most consistent team in basketball for the last 4 years, and they're the defending champion. So I'm not going to be like, oh, well, Philly's playing well or this. I'm like, these dudes have been monsters for 4 years.
Okay, just to kind of like follow up. So I understand your take, Richard, on Milwaukee. Obviously, you have the thought that you just said about Miami, Channing, but I think there's a twofold here, and I apologize for interrupting you, Richard, because I was just trying to like better understand what you were about to say about Boston. And I'm still kicking myself that we didn't ask Perk about Boston.
Oh, yeah.
But it's kind of a question that goes with both Philly and Boston in their own regard. Can Boston sustain what they're doing? What are they showing you different that has allowed them to win games, right? As opposed to what it looked like earlier in the season for them. Let's start there.
Well, just defensively, and look, Jaylen Brown missed a ton of time. They were trying to figure it out, and this was a team. And this is the thing. Like now, I think before they were kind of underachieving and they had some hiccups, and now I think they're playing, above what their capability is. Because let's break who Boston is, right? Where would you rank Boston talent-wise in the Eastern Conference? Milwaukee has more talent. Philly has more talent. Brooklyn, if they're ever on there, has more talent. I believe that Chicago and Miami have more talent. So that puts them at the 5-6 seed, right? Like, to me, that puts them at the 5-6. Now they've won 8-9 in a row, all these things that are positive. But if you look at their team, like, they would probably rank 5 or 6. So now that they're playing to that capability, we can't say that they're the best team in basketball. It's like, no, they're just playing up to where I think their talent level, allows them to.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think at the beginning of the year, and I don't know what the deal was. Maybe it wasn't a fit with Schroeder or whatever it was. And I'm not calling him out, or I'm not saying anything like that. Obviously, I think he's a great player. But like, as soon as he leaves this team, as soon as they stop playing him, this team starts going on a run, right? I think sometimes less is more on certain teams. And when you have a certain rhythm to the game, you can only have so many guys eat at the table, right? And Jason Tatum's gonna get 25 shots a game. He shoots the most in the NBA. And then Jaylen Brown needs touches, right? And then Marcus Smart and the rest of those guys, Grant Williams, need shots. So like, you can't have 3 or 4 guys that need 15 to 25 shots to be effective. So now defensively, they're on a string. I like Ime's, his defensive versatility with that team is pretty good. I thought the big fella, God, I hate that. I forgot his name for a second. Time Lord is what they call him.
Oh, Time Lord. Yeah.
Yeah, Time Lord. He's been playing great. Al Horford's, been going back and forth, but he's just solid. So I just think like they have a nice little rhythm of their team and like what's expected on defensive end. And then Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum say, well, hey, we got to make this work if we both want to be here. So Jason goes, I'll shoot it every time and you do a lot of everything.
So, but right now you think hovering around the 5-6 spot is where they ultimately
should be. Yeah.
And
should be. Now, if they get up to 3, because Brooklyn, and obviously Brooklyn has gone through a ton of turmoil, but like, we can't say that healthy whenever that possibly is, or fully loaded, that like Brooklyn was the favorite up until like a month and a half ago, right? Up until they were, the favorite team in the league. So like, I don't know. I think it's great that Boston's playing well. We know that that's great for the NBA. We understand that they have a huge fan base. And honestly, for Ime and that organization, I'm glad that they've kind of like gotten that rhythm.
I was one to say, break it up. But they said, no, we're going to keep it. And I
loved when, was it Jaylen or was it Jaylen or was it Jason that came out and said that he believes the two of them are pretty damn good when they're together. So if you don't have that from the two of them at your core, what are you doing? With that said, before we get out of the East, we will talk about Brooklyn, Richard. But my question again was new beast, not best team per se in the Eastern Conference. So when you've seen what you've seen, though a very small sample size from Philadelphia, when you're getting numbers like 66 and 61 back-to-back combined between your two leaders now and Joel and James Harden, you've got Maxey putting up 21 and 28. You're not sure what that's going to look like. How real are they? Are they real in your mind?
Oh, 100%. They are as real can be. I can't find right now currently, is there a better 1-2 punch in the league, right? There isn't. At one point in time, Brooklyn might have had a 1-2 and a 1-3, but we don't know enough about Brooklyn. And then you just go down the line. I love Giannis and Chris Middleton. Like but I still don't feel like that's nearly as good. But you go through and look at the rest of the league. I know we're talking about the East, West, it doesn't matter. Is there a better 1-2 tandem than those two? There's not. They're both probably, Embiid, even as an MVP, that a lot of people are trying to put him in that spot right now. they're both top 7 players, right? They're both top 7 players right now when they're playing their best basketball. They're both top 10 players. There's no other tandem. I wouldn't put AD and Bron as both top 10 players. I think Bron is, not AD. So that they're the best tandem, and they're healthy and playing.
But nothing they're doing is overstepping Milwaukee in your mind.
No, look, they beat the
East.
Knicks. With all due respect, like they put up huge numbers against the Knicks. Now the Knicks are a good defensive team, and this and that and all that stuff. No, I'm just saying, like they play hard and all.
What?
You try.
I hate that excuse, Richard. Let's talk about that.
But
I hate that they play hard. You big dummy! I'm not talking about you.
I'm saying I was just saying that they weren't good, bro. I was just saying that we can't put enough stock into beating the Knicks. That's really what my statement is. So
we're agreeing. But what I'm saying is, like, I hate when a team is just garbage juice and teams go, well, they play hard. It's like, what? What? Does the other teams not play as hard? Well, obviously other teams must play harder because they're beating the shit out of the Knicks every night. Like, what I hate, not you, but in general, media people go, oh, I like that guy. He plays hard. But you're like, but he's losing. So maybe he needs to play less hard. Like, what? Do something different.
But Richard just said that. So you are talking to Richard.
No, I know, but he's not the only one. He's not the only one.
I was trying to say that those numbers are great.
Oh yeah.
I like, and they can put those up against Milwaukee, but I'm not going to sit here and crown them the future champions because they whooped the Knicks ass. And who was the other game they just played?
Minnesota. Timberwolves.
Minnesota's good. Actually, defensively, they're pretty solid. But again, you don't judge those teams until they start beating the Chicagos, the Miamis, the Phoenix, the Utahs. Like those are the ones. Now it's late in the season, so you don't know how many of those opportunities they're going to get, which is bad for them. That's bad for them because they can't test themselves. But it's also a little scary because other teams can't be like, okay, we did this against James and Joel last time. We're going to try it this way. So we'll see.
I think the only thing I get worried about is their reliance on the free throw line, right? Like we've seen this happen before with James Harden, and obviously James Harden's special, but you're not getting 29 free throws in the playoffs, right? You may get to the line 12 times, but imagine, like, think about it. I think he shot 29 free throws. I think James Harden and him are 5th in the NBA for free throws taken, right? Like above more than some teams. So I worry about the reliance
even this year?
of that. No, I mean, since they've been on team.
Like,
Oh, in these last 2 games?
Dude, they've shot
25
free throws.
Combined.
Yeah, combined.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
so I think for me,
that rule changed, so that's not happening.
Joel, when things break down, I think they're going to be okay. But again, that scoring, the numbers that they're getting, I think are a bit inflated. But when it kind of settles down, they're still going to be dominant. But I just don't know if those two dominating, like, what does Tobias do? Tobias turns into Thibault.
You need to figure it out. Matisse Thibault. That's my favorite.
Here's a wild thing, and I hate saying this because it's my cousin, but I'm saying it from a basketball point of view. For him and them to be successful, he has to come off the bench now. Because then they can run the offense through him. He's gonna get looks, and those first 6 minutes of the game where that guy starts, but he really doesn't start, right? Those players who just start the first 6 minutes of the quarter. You could put Georgie Niang there just to stand in the corner and shoot threes, but you're not getting the best out of Tobias right now. And I know he's making
it's just hard.
a lot of money.
It's hard. It's hard to put $180 million on the bench. Just ask the Lakers.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it'll make sense if they win a chip.
What's up, back to when it comes to the two of you, and obviously just the relationship that you guys have with Kyrie. Obviously, the latest came down in New York with the mayor and the statement that Eric Adams made. They could lift the indoor mask mandate March 7th. But in terms of unvaxxed, I particularly loved his stance, though I know it's not easy. I think for him as a mayor, obviously in the position that he is in, it's more than just athletes per se, though he gets it, right? Kyrie mentioned though recently that he sees the light at the end of the tunnel for being available more so than just on the road. Do you guys see this? Richard, maybe you have a different kind of angle given your connection to the organization, et cetera.
No, I think the mayor, there's a lot of different things. Obviously, this is less, I think it's always going to be about health concerns, but I think it's becoming more and more political, which isn't a surprise to anyone, because they just laid off like 1,200 workers that weren't going to get the vaccine. So that's all like every mayor or politician, the day they take office, they're fighting for reelection, right? So it's like you're fighting against, the teachers union and the police union and the construction union. So if you're going to stand your ground and say that this is about health, trying to make an exception for a guy that dribbles a basketball, that's not the best idea. But where it gets really weird and dicey is that like the privatized business, you're allowed to, you can't do it or something. And don't quote me on this, but I think if they lift it, Kyrie would be allowed to play in Madison Square Garden, but he wouldn't be allowed to play in Barclays. That's when it gets fucking stupid. Because he is a visiting player at that point in time. He is a visiting player, right? So he would be allowed to play in Barclays just like all of the other people that come into the city that are unvaccinated from, let's say, the Raptors or from OKC, So they're allowed to play in Brooklyn, even though they're unvaccinated. They're allowed to play in the Garden, and they're unvaccinated. They're even saying that Kyrie will be able to come into Barclays Center as an unvaccinated person, but won't be able to play. So that's when you start to get into this dicey, like, guys, what the actual fuck?
So let me ask you, because you both are intelligent human beings as well. You don't just dribble a basketball. Is there a solution?
There isn't. The Kyrie is actually the biggest, okay, what's the best way to say it? Kyrie is the thing that gives the hypocrisy a face, right?
That's good sentence, Richard.
Yeah, thank you. He is the thing that gives the like when you're saying they had to fire 1,200 workers. Well, the world doesn't know about Lisa or Michael or Kareem. They don't know about these workers. Like they know, like obviously these people are impacted, but Kyrie is the person that's like, okay, that's a rule. What about Kyrie? Nobody else's name is getting brought up. And so that's why the hypocrisy of like, wait, so you're saying that Kyrie can go play in Madison Square Garden under the new guidelines, but can't be in Brooklyn. Well, that doesn't make sense. And they're like, well, we're trying and it's not about one person. I'm like, but it doesn't change the fact that it doesn't make sense. And it's like, wait, can he be in the arena? Yes, he's allowed to go and be in the arena, but he can't play. But other unvaccinated players that are coming out, that are coming from other teams can play. Does that make sense? Well, yeah, and then that's when you start getting into the politics and it's our job is to make sure, and we're not going to make any exceptions. It's like, I'm hearing you, but like, make it make sense. And the math is just not mathing.
Yeah, the Richard hit all the points, so I don't really have too much to say about it, but like,
then shut the fuck up, bro.
Just make it make sense.
Help me help you.
Help me help.
I feel like
you.
We've heard that a couple times. All right, we're going to go to the West, and we're going to start with shot clock. Yeah.
Allie, really quickly.
What's up?
Because I'm semi-passionate about this because we're going to stay in the same building in New York. Can we talk about
you want to just...
I want to talk about
you want to do that? I was going to
I
save the best for last on the start of Women's History Month.
Oh, please.
However, we can go there now.
Please go there now.
We can go there now.
Give everybody the story.
So... the New York Liberty, I'm actually going to read a direct line.
Please.
The New York Liberty fined record $500,000 for chartering flights during 2021 WNBA season. League told team violations were grounds for termination of franchise. Sabrina Ionescu had the line of it all, I think. What a joke.
What a fucking joke.
With that said, she's not the only. Just about every woman in the league have voiced their similar sentiments.
It's disgusting.
It is disgusting. It is embarrassing. And quite honestly, it's sad.
It's even more disgusting because the other owners, we're like, this is a competitive advantage. It should be a fucking competitive advantage taking care of your players. It should be, especially in the middle of a pandemic fucking situation where we don't want our players walking through airports. We don't want our players doing this. We want to take care of the individuals that we're investing hundreds and millions of dollars in. And so we want to put them on private planes so that they have a more comfortable life. And we can be real. There's women that are bigger than me, taller than me. Like, like they are,
Professional
they're
athletes.
all large. They're professional athletes. And it's not about size. It's more about like, you're trying to make them comfortable as possible. And for an owner that's like, I want to take care of my players, and there's considering it a competitive advantage. It is a fucking competitive advantage. It is. So like, get on board or sell the team to somebody that will put in that type of investment.
And that's what I think really quick, that's what it comes down to. It's not just this one incident. It just shows the problem on a much larger scale.
They got fined.
This is a rule.
They got fined.
And by the way, they got fined $500,000, but it was originally set at $1 million. The Liberty had to compromise with the league in order to bring it down, or are we serious?
Yeah.
To $500,000.
I think it just shows the like, who the fuck is in the room making these decisions, right? Obviously, it's not an ex-player, and obviously, you don't want the best product out there, right? If you have, think about, for instance, Liz Cambridge, who's 6'9". You got Liz
6'8", 235.
6'8".
Just had her press conference.
okay.
That's, yep.
She's 6'8", and you got her sitting in coach on Spirit Airlines because you're trying to save $100, and then all of a sudden, her knees don't fit. Huh?
Yeah. She has to spend her own money to upgrade to first class.
Stop it. And then you're like, well, why? They're doing the best that they can. If you want to put the best product out there, right? You have to treat your players with the utmost of everything. Everything that they need should be provided for them so that when they go play, all they have to worry about is play. They don't have to play a game, hurry up in ice, and then try to catch the Southwest flight to Vegas. Like, come on, man.
Okay, can I say this? Can I say the thing really quickly? Can I say the thing really quickly? That's just like, this is my message to the WNBA and the NBA. You're gonna fucking lose this battle. You're gonna lose this battle. You are. What you're doing right now, just because, and look, and I say this respectfully, just because 20, 30 people can get into a room and say, hey, this is what we're going to do, and these are the penalties and blah, 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 you're going to lose. You're going to lose. And this is not right. You need to figure out a way to get this done, or to figure out a way to compromise. But to just say that this is what we're going to do, we're going to push this back. And I think Joe Tsai figured out a way to have more teams or increase the private opportunities, like for planes for the team. You're going to lose this. You're getting fucking destroyed publicly, and it's not going to stop. The U.S. women's national team just won a lawsuit. And you don't think that these women are going to, and it's like, well, this is about money, and I get it. Like, the margins are different in the WNBA. I'm not saying it's not, but you're going to lose this. You're going to lose it. I don't know how long it's going to take. Ask the NCAA. The minute you start prioritizing your profits over the well-being of your players, you're going to lose. It might take a while, but you're going to lose. So,
dude, how do you not want to invest in anybody? If you're a businessman, you're not going to skimp. You're going to provide the best opportunity and invest in your players. And the New York Liberty, the owner saw what was going on. Hey, we can't do this, especially out of New York. You wouldn't make any flight. Like, were you going to Newark and flying, Delta? Come on, man. Like, take care of your players. They deserve it. They're putting a great product out there. From where it was 10 years ago to where it is now, to where it should be in 2-3 years, should make ripples throughout the world, and not because you guys are skimping on $100,000 to get girls a flight for a year.
Women. The other thing that's so crazy to me too is like, and I've read a lot of stuff in it. For instance, I read over last summer Sue Bird's comments regarding sometimes when it comes to showing or saying that you are able to charter, right? It's a reflection or a result of financial success. Because look, she was straight up. We get it. It costs a lot of money to fly charter, right? And so it's not like you have individuals, faces of your leagues, women that have been a part of this league for so long, who have sacrificed in the off season to go play and continue to play because the means or the finances, when it all comes down to it, does not show an adequate amount of money that they deserve, right? My thing is like, when has that ever been a question as to whether or not it's worth it for women? Like why is that even part of the discussion in terms of putting your product, women that work their asses off day in and day out,
have children,
to put people
families,
in seats?
all, like,
that's a whole nother.
Here we go.
yeah.
Get it started, Allie. Get it
but
started.
this is something that is making headlines. It is a scandal, which was a part of a headline in Sports Illustrated today regarding this, and rightfully so. But that shouldn't even be a question. It shouldn't even be part of it.
No.
And that's where the real question lies.
Yeah. That's why, like, this has been bothering me. Like, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm getting on social media and fucking roasting everybody, right? Just because it's
By
just.
the way,
what?
The CBA is not up until 2027.
So they
that
can't
contract.
Oh, they're gonna get roasted. They're gonna like guys. First of all, Nike had to reevaluate what they were doing, penalizing some of their contracted athletes if they got pregnant. Guys, you gotta wake up. You gotta and just like, you gotta wake up. It's just like literally the U.S. women's national team just won the lawsuit. They just won it like what, a week ago? 10 days ago, they just, like that. It was like 15 million. It was like, that's what I'm saying. It was just a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Like the writing's on the wall. And I understand and make a compromise. Be like, if it's LA to New York, we'll charter that flight or you know what I'm saying? Like you got to come up with something and just say like, we'll bring this up. And it's like, maybe each team is allowed 5 charters a year. And then after that, but you got to come up with something versus saying, no, we're going back to Spirit Airlines. We're going back to whatever it is and blah, blah, blah. Like, that,
no offense, Spirit, by the way.
But this is a conversation that should not be. There are other things that need to be taken care of, and this should not be your headline. No. This should be an automatic.
Oh, they're going to get roasted. And what's the sad thing is that the owners they are going to hide. They're going to hide behind the commissioner. They're going to keep roasting. They're going to keep getting killed. Joe Tsai, shout out to my guy, Joe Tsai. Shout out to the Brooklyn Nets. Shout out to the OG for taking care of people, and making sure that your product and that the future is moving forward, because ultimately these women are going to be flying soon. I don't know if it's this year, next year, whatever it is, but it's coming and it's long deserved. So we can get back to the original programming now.
No, that is the programming.
Yeah.
With that said, Channing, you have daughters, and I know the both of you work alongside women in the WNBA. I know that you guys are for equality, et cetera. But I don't think you could be more proud of the current women who are in the league right now fighting for it.
For sure.
Especially for the young girls that come after. Like it's a statement beyond, and it is the program. This episode of Road Trippin is sponsored by our friends at BetterHelp Online Therapy. Relationships take work, especially the most important one you can have in your life, your relationship with yourself. A lot of us will drop anything to go help someone we care about. We'll go out of our way to treat other people well, but how often do we give ourselves the same treatment? This month, BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you that you matter just as much as everyone else does. And therapy is a great way to make sure you show up for yourself. BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try and see why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp Online Therapy. Get started today, support the Road Trippin crew, and enjoy 10% off your first month of services by visiting betterhelp.com/roadtrippin. That's BetterHelp.com/roadtrippin. With that said, we can get back to the NBA, if you will. All right, we're going on the shot clock. 24 seconds. DeAndre Jordan rumored. He has been waived by the Lakers.
Congratulations! I tweeted after that pass. Too high.
Dude, I was dying. After that pass, I know. Hey, somebody had his bags. Zip.
What are you talking about? He threw that pass to get the hell out of there.
Dude.
You guys can both have 24 seconds on this one.
Okay, go ahead.
Rumored to be heading to Philadelphia. Channing, go. You like this move?
That don't do shit.
It does. It
doesn't. Because have you seen him play lately? No offense. He's not very good.
But you need a backup to Joel Embiid. And I know Drummond was a great backup. Drummond was really, really good for them. And like, I understand. DeAndre is at the end of his career. He's had an amazing career. Like he is. Like
he's had a great career. Amazing
great career. And I think right now as a backup to Joel Embiid, that just gives you another that because you don't want to be playing Joel Embiid and he's still a role threat. He's still a pick and roll guy. So like to me, to be able, you don't want to be, you talked about depth, that just gives him a little bit of depth. Now, is he who he was? No. But can he still do like some serviceable things if you need Joel Embiid to play 33 minutes instead of like 39 minutes? Those things add up and you know it. Okay.
He's a 6 to 12 minute guy.
Yeah, that's fine. Because he was not playing for the Lakers.
He was fulfilling for the first 17 of the 23 games he played in LA. That 6-minute starter role, like you were talking about, guys.
Get out there, start, do some things, and sit the fuck down.
All right. So we're going to introduce mailbag, introing our line back to viewers. Call, leave us messages, text messages moving forward. We will be answering them and obviously shouting you guys out socially. 657-5 call RT is the line. This one has to do with Ja Morant. Obviously, you guys probably watched him last night. Drops a record 52. Had that massive dunk, of course, on Jakob Poeltl.
Poor Poeltl.
46 on Saturday he had against the Bulls. Are the Grizzlies contenders? Are they legit?
They're contenders in the West.
We will talk about, hang on really quick. We will talk about Ja personally next. So from a team standpoint, are they contenders, Richard?
In the West, they are contenders because, and let me tell you why. Chris Paul hurt right now, so you don't know what's going to happen with Phoenix. And I know they're going to be fine. They're fine, but look, they haven't played great. When you look, and let's go down the West really quickly. Then you go
Golden State.
Golden State, no Draymond yet, and they've been struggling. Just blew a 25 lead in. But look, and I think they're going to get there. But if we're talking about today, right now, there's uncertainty for some guys that'll be back. Then you get to like the Utah and Dallas and Denver. And I don't mean that those teams aren't good before the fans start going crazy. I don't mean that those teams
go crazy on his ass.
But I'm saying though, like if you say right now Memphis versus Dallas, Memphis, I think Memphis. If you say Memphis versus Denver, I say Memphis. You say Memphis versus Utah, I say Memphis. So if we're talking about those three, we're gonna say Memphis. Then the uncertainty from the Phoenix and Golden State means that there's a window for them to sneak in and possibly beat one of those teams. And it could be in the conference finals, depending on where everybody falls. So yes, they are contenders in the West. Do I think they have enough to win a championship? No.
I agree with Richard, shockingly. And I think one thing we're not taking into consideration is Jaren Jackson Jr. is extremely healthy and up for Defensive Player of the Year.
He's
and
good.
Dylan Brooks, who is equally a good defender, has been hurt most of the year. And if he could get back healthy.
Did you say a gooder defender? Did you say a gooder defender? Is that what you just said? You did. It's okay. It's okay to smile. It's okay to smile.
Wait, did he like say that naturally?
He said a gooder defender.
Yeah, my bad.
Like you meant that?
That was trash.
Shut up, Allie. I'm just kidding.
Ooh, wow.
I'm just kidding. I don't
think I ever heard a shut up
Allie before. I forgot Allie.
Richard, you tell me to shut up every day.
Yeah, that's true. It's just because you're yelling at me because I made a mistake. So I'm like, Allie, I know, shut up. I know.
Continue. Continue with your
I just think defensively they're good. They have a lot more playmakers than what they did. I think like getting slow-mo, Jaren Jackson Jr. back. Even Steven Adams is a really good passer for what he does and his physicality.
Is he a gooder passer? Is he a gooder passer?
He's a gooder passer than Valanciunas. But like I like that. And they could go small this year more than what they could last year. And physically, I think they're going to be better to match up with Golden State and Phoenix because Steven Adams can play DeAndre Ayton one-on-one, and they can go small with Jaren Jackson Jr. at the 5 and play an attack downhill lineup.
Okay.
So you do think that they're contenders?
And I think they have a good as a chance as Phoenix and Golden State. I think there are a lot of questions about Phoenix's health and Golden State's health.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take it to then the center of it all. With Ja Morant. And I sent you guys this earlier, but just to make sure those who are listening understand the context in which you guys are about to go in on. Rick Bucher on Undisputed today, I saw this and kind of wondered, Whether or not Ja Morant is the next face of the NBA, his comment was, he has a better chance than Steph Curry, who never became the face of the league. Ja has a dynamic aspect to his game, and that's why I believe he has a chance to be something Steph Curry was not.
Now, I love Rick. Rick's my guy.
I know you do. That's why I wanted to talk.
I like Rick.
Yeah.
Me and Rick are on texting basis. Like that, my guy will text me, will say what's up. That's my guy. He's been very supportive of my broadcast career, even my basketball career. I love Rick. Now, we all say some silly shit. One, Steph Curry is the face of the league. It's Bron, it's Steph,
and now it's starting to be Giannis.
Then I think you get to the next tier of Kevin Durant, Giannis, like those guys, right? Like the ratings say this. The ratings say that when Steph Curry plays basketball, everyone watches. Jersey sales, ticket sales, Steph Curry, LeBron. LeBron's number one, Steph's number two, and then it starts to kind of mismatch with the guys down there with Giannis, KD. Now, this is the thing. No one gets to decide who is the face of the league. No one does. The people decide that. Your greatness can. Like Giannis won 2 MVPs, won a championship. He's still not the face of the league. So it's like even your greatness, even winning a championship, being defensive player of the year, putting yourself in an elite category. And Giannis has an amazing personality. He's lovable, his brothers, his backstory, all that stuff. Still not the face of the league. No one gets to choose that but the people. I'll go back to Kobe starting in an all-star game in like his second year in the league. Was he one of those guys? No, but the fans loved him. There was something about Kobe and they'd be like, oh, well, he came out of high school. So did Kevin Garnett. He didn't get the same type of fanfare. Like, people just decide who it is. And so I will never say he's going to be the face of the league or he has a chance to be the face of the league. No, none of us fucking know. The people choose that. They always have. And they always will. So like for us to try and crown, it doesn't mean how many games he plays on national television. It doesn't mean if Nike gives him a shoe. Doesn't matter any of those things. The people decide. So sometimes you have to sit back and wait to see what the people are going to decide to see if he's going to be the face. Honestly, like his numbers are great, but like him and LaMelo Ball, like think about his following. LaMelo Ball had like 3 million followers before he even showed up and played a game, right? Like because he has a fan base that's nuts. And so does he have a chance to be? He has a chance to be a part of the group. Am I going to say that he has a chance to be the face of the league? That's not up for us to say or decide. That'll be the people.
But Steph is up there.
Fuck yeah. It's
First
Steph
of all,
and Bron.
let's just...
It's Bron and Steph. It's Bron and Steph.
Yes. Dude, we joke around about how we don't like Golden State, but give credit where credit is due. That little guy changed the face of basketball. He changed how basketball is played, right? Everyone under 6'2" realized they can be a dominant force in the NBA if they have, obviously, God's gift of shooting, but if they have elite skills. Steph has elite skills. He's not the fastest. He's not the strongest, but he's elite smart. He has elite conditioning because he moves around like a goddamn fucking gazelle, and he shoots the piss out of that thing better than anyone else. The point I'm trying to make is that I think we forget if Luka is the guy that everyone wants to see. If Luka came into the season in shape, he has a chance to be MVP every single year. Everyone loves Luka. They associate him with Larry Bird. He's unstoppable. He's won overseas. He is an international superstar without being an international superstar, right? Like if Bron or Steph took a step down, Luka's realistically the next one in line.
Well, and this is the last thing I'll say to add to my point about we don't decide. People need to understand that basketball is different. And this is where basketball is different than any other American sport. The best players in the basketball, the number one, the face of the NBA is transcendent of the NBA. He is whoever is number one and the face is more of a rock star than he is a basketball player. He's more. Magic Johnson, rock star.
Yeah.
Larry Bird, rock star. Michael
Channing
Jordan,
Frye,
rock star.
rock star.
Shut the fuck up. Kobe Bryant, rock star. Shaquille O'Neal, rock star. Like LeBron James, rock star. Steph Curry. These guys are not, it's not normal. They like people that don't know basketball know Steph Curry. People that never watched a basketball game know Magic Johnson or Larry Bird. Like right now, the people that watch basketball love Ja. It's the people that don't watch basketball are the people that will turn someone into the face of the league. And that's the part that people completely mistake and completely like that's like football's not like that. You can say that about Tom Brady. You can say that like he has reached that level where even if you don't know, you know the name Tom Brady. But who is it in baseball? Who is it in baseball? Who is it in MLS?
Shohei Ohtani?
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
Shohei Ohtani? Yeah, but
No. Because baseball does not promote their players at all, which is a problem for me. And I like
it's
baseball.
Great. It's great for us. Let's keep it there. But then even if you look at football, let's take Tom Brady.
Did you
out
say
of it. Who is
foo-foo?
it then? But who is it after Tom Brady? Who is it after Tom Brady? That
It's Odell Beckham.
But you know, but you could
It's
say
Odell.
guys like that.
Everyone knows Odell.
You can say Russell
Aaron
Wilson,
Donald.
Aaron Donald. Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like these guys
The
are
last
these
winner.
guys are,
The
none of these
quarterback.
guys
The quarterback.
Matt Stafford.
Exactly. No one's saying that.
I
about
forgot I had
Steph
a brain
Curry.
fart.
No, you didn't have a brain fart. You're just every normal American. You're just every
Brett
normal
Favre?
American. You know? So
The Joe
it's-
Montanious?
Oh my God.
You're
Okay.
trying really hard to make this joke land. It's struggling.
So
bro.
you guys made your point. Look at
look
that
at
said,
grumpy.
our final topic.
Okay.
Well, a topic and a half. The last one's for fun. Final topic, the Lakers. Richard, you had a chance to call the last 2 Laker games. From that seat, what's your takeaway on the Lakers right now? With the latest being, obviously, they have waived DeAndre Jordan. They signed DJ Augustine and they signed Wenyen Gabriel. Look, they're one of 8 teams, as we know, that stayed pat at the trade deadline. They wanted to try the buyout market approach. And here we are. So with that said, Richard.
It's sad. It's sad from a standpoint. No, and I look, I know, like I'm being serious here. It was hard for me to watch that game from a standpoint of like some of the greatest players of all time are struggling to figure it out. And this is where they're being professional. And this is what happened. Let me tell everybody, this is what's going on right now in LA. This is what's going on. You have a bunch of guys that are super talented, that are super frustrated, but they're trying to not let it show. So what they're trying to do is they're numbing themselves. And the minute you numb yourselves to the criticism and what's going on, all of a sudden you're not engaged. You're just going through the motions. Because if they do start getting passionate about it and they do start getting locked in and focused and fiery, then they're going to chop each other's heads off because they're so frustrated. So everyone on that court, top to bottom, is borderline numb. It looks like they're just being numb and they're going through the motions, because if they don't, they're going to attack each other, because it's so fucking sad and it's so disappointing. And they're disappointed. Like, these are the greatest players of generations, right? Russell, Carmelo, LeBron, Dwight Howard. Like, these guys are next level, once in a lifetime type talents, and they're trying to keep it together. And because they can't, just like anybody that's been through any type of fucking really tough situation, your job is just to try and numb yourself to get through it. But the minute you numb yourself to get through it, you end up with 16 turnovers in the first half because you're not engaged. You're down by 30 to the Pelicans. You're just there. Even like some of the
Pelicans are good.
No, they're not. When Malik Monk got that big steal, and I was like going crazy on the broadcast, no one on their bench said a word. And I know I talked about it on TikTok, but no one said a word. They just were just like, oh, good play. They're not locked in. They don't like, I'm not saying that they don't want to be there, but right now, every second is challenging their professionalism to not like go at each other and the coaches and the fans. And so they just have to numb themselves. And then this is the performances you get when you get a bunch of numb players. Channing?
I just think, I agree, what you're saying, which is weird. I've done this 3 times.
It's like 3 times. What the hell?
I know, but like for me,
Be gooder.
They
please.
like be gooder. For me, it's like they go to the practice and they're like, well, you ain't changing. And they have no hope, right? They have no hope, right? And when you don't have hope, or you are like, well, no matter what I do, I think he's going to mess up or I can't play with him. That's not a way to play, right? So again, it is numbing, but it's like, Bron's like, no matter what I do, we're not going to win and we're still going to get roasted, right? And Russ obviously is like in a weird space where he's like, he can't punch the wall anymore, right? And then AD's injury, bad injury. And then Dwight is like, well, if I don't have a natural role, what am I doing? Right? You're asking me to be 2010 Dwight, or it's 2022. That ain't happening. And then Melo's like, well, I'm just going to catch the ball and shoot it every time, which is fine. But like they need people to be more than themselves, and they can't right now. And adding Wendell Gabriel as a good young guy, maybe he brings in fresh energy. And DJ Augustine, I mean, he's not going to play. He's not going to play. But at least you're getting fresh people in there. You gotta start.
Yeah, they need fresh blood to drain. That's what they need. Like Dracula needs a new victim. That's
but it's gross watching them because they always like, even when they make mistakes, they don't even like talk to each other anymore. Like if somebody throws it out of bounds, they just go to the other end. You're just like, damn. I would almost prefer if they cussed everyone out. I would almost prefer.
What is the challenge? Just because I know you guys were veterans on teams, and especially for you, Richard, and winning that championship a season before, 2 seasons before you retired. So like at that stage of your career. But for both of you, like what is the challenge when the connection isn't there to remaining professional, to remaining locked in?
It's impossible.
Making the playoffs.
Like how hard it...
I'm saying it's impossible. And that's why it was so sad. It's so sad because like, okay, let me reverse. As we're not giving the Lakers a death sentence, LeBron and AD, we're not doing that. The Warriors 2 years ago were getting blown out and had the number 2 pick. And for the last 2 seasons, they've been trashed since Kevin Durant left. They had injuries to Clay. They were just banged up. Yeah, they almost made the postseason last year, but like they were trash. Let's just say it. And I think they would say it. And then they retooled their team. Toscano Anderson, Gary Payton II. They like filled out their roster. They retooled and they did it. That's what the Lakers are going to have to do. But right now, they just have to go through this. There's nothing that like they're not done. The Lakers can be contenders again next year. They can be contenders for the next 2 to 3 years.
Stop.
Like, first,
how?
Okay. So how the fuck did the Warriors get to where the fuck they are right now? Explain that. Explain that.
Where did they go? Steph, they have Clay. They have Draymond. Steph got hurt. Draymond got hurt. Right? Clay got hurt.
Anthony Davis has been hurt the whole season.
They had their draft picks. They drafted James Wiseman, who's a stud.
Who hasn't played at all this year.
Who's a stud. The Lakers don't have picks, and they don't have any room. Who's taking Russell's contract? Who's taking Dwight Howard's? Are you going to trade Braun?
What I'm saying is this, Channing. They can retool their team, right? They can retool their team. Like contenders mean that they can get themselves back into like the top 5 in the Western Conference. They have 2 of the best players in the world right now. Currently, they got Malik Monk. They have pieces. They just didn't like what was available. They will actually this summer, if I'm correct, they will actually have a pick to trade. Am I correct, Allie? They have a 2027 pick that you can trade. So I'm just saying this based off of this is that you can refill your roster because right now it's less about talent and it's more about fit and it's more about connection in the group that they have. So that's not meshing. So what I'm saying is that when you're starting any situation with LeBron and AD, I'm sorry, bro. Like you put yourself in a position like you've got 50% of the shit taken care of. The other 50% is just fucking oil and water.
Okay, Richard, what I'm going to say, sorry, Allie, is this. You're saying a big what if. A 38-year-old LeBron, a extremely injury-prone AD, and you have no cap room to go. And who wants right now, if you are looking at the Lakers from outside the NBA, who's going, oh, I want to play there? The Lakers, even with AD and Bron, they're not better than the Suns or the Golden State Warriors.
But you know what? We know the vanity of motherfuckers. They want to go play in LA. Is Carmelo going to come back? Yes. Right? If he gets an opportunity on a minimum contract, he'll be back there. So you just like, look, is Russ the ultimate problem? Like, I'm not going to sit here and blame one individual. No, but the Lakers, if you're going to tell me that if the Lakers, like, I think they need to move Russ this summer. I think they're going to try and move Russ this summer. So if they move Russ this summer and then they can retool and figure out a way to add some talent, you still have 2 of the top 10 players in the fucking league. So don't tell me that like all of a sudden, like next year, their ceiling is 6. Now, do they need to be healthy? Yes. Does LeBron need to play well? Yes. Do they need to get some better pieces that fit? Yes. But fucking compare them to any team that's 7 and below. Do they have the best chance of any team in the league currently that's 7 and below to push themselves to a top 4 next year? Do they have the best chance of everyone?
No.
Because that's what's
Richard.
Who has a better
Braun
chance?
Is
Just tell me who's a motherfucker. He's averaging 29 this year. Let's say you drop it to 25.
They're
no,
awful.
but I'm talking about their team is fucking terrible.
I know. I'm saying you're asking him to do the unspeakable again. This was a gift and it's being
so you're saying the Lakers should trade Braun and AD? Is that what
you
said?
The one thing I will say, like watching.
What are you getting back from Russell? You think? What do you think you're getting back from Russell?
Hang on. The one thing I will say is like you're putting a lot of stock though, Channing, in like counting on LeBron. I don't think watching LeBron, should we have to see LeBron at this for the next 7 years? No. But I don't think LeBron within performing the way he has consistently this season has showed that he's like on his last leg.
Right. Yeah, motherfucker
like
had
it's not like you can't expect
for fucking 24 straight games on 55 fucking % shooting. So like, dude, he raised his level when Anthony Davis was out. My only point is this. I understand your point, Channing. It is not like right now, but to say that the Warriors, like, well, look, they went and found a Toscano Anderson. They went and found guys that fit better with Steph and Clay, that, you know, Jordan Poole, you know what I'm saying? Damian Lee, they went and found guys, and it might take a while, but ultimately I still believe that they have a window of 2 to 3 years with LeBron, right? A window of 2 to 3 years. Maybe he'll average 22 in the final year, but to say 29 and he drops it to 25, even if there's a decrease, they just need increases other places.
I think what's different in what Channing is basically saying is that you can't expect LeBron to continue to do this if you don't put the right pieces around him.
Agreed.
With that said, we're going to end on this. Just please make it make sense. Will you just explain what the hell is going on? Because a lot of people want to know. We got a lot of questions about it. We've got voicemails about it. People want to know if you guys are really in a show on the History Channel.
Yeah.
Shout out to our guy, Doug Sanders.
Wait, you're really on the show?
Yeah, we're hosting the show.
Me and Channing, we got our fucking own thing on the History Channel, man. Come on. The food.
First of all, why they would put you guys as the face of the History Channel, I don't know.
Because they're full. First of all, how many emails and videos did you get? That's fucking why. Look at that.
I lied about all of it, but it was a great tease and got the best out of you, huh?
The food that built America. Oh, I've gotten multiple texts. Tim Duncan texts me. He's like, "Really, bitch? Are you really on the fucking like?" He's like, "That's literally his."
Can we get Tim on here, please?
Oh, fucking Tim hates me. I'm gonna show up at his house, knock on the fucking door.
Okay, wait. Can you explain it though? Are you guys really on the show?
Yes.
Or was that just a one-off?
It's a really cool. What the History Channel did is there was a really cool thing in like explaining to people about like, you know, the inventor of Taco Bell, the inventor of this, and you do it in a fun, playful way. And is there a more fun, playful fucking team than this 3 right here? So like, yeah, that's what we did. It's fucking awesome. Go fucking check it out because we want to do it again next year because the check was nice, motherfucker.
Oh my God.
History Channel, email the History Channel or write them a letter.
Yeah, at them.
Email the History Channel.
Yeah, email the History Channel.
Okay.
I got to
No,
run, guys.
don't get off. We're not done yet. 657-5, call RT. But that is another edition of Road Trippin.
Love you guys.
No, don't go off yet. You got to let it upload.
I know. I'm not leaving, bitch. I'm just saying we got to go.